Alright, what's up, guys? As you guys know, we are massive wrestling fans, man. We watch wrestling basically every single week. As you guys know, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. We try to catch up on 205 Live, NXT UK when we can. Yeah, we're massive wrestling fans, and this weekend is going to be an exciting weekend of wrestling. We have NXT TakeOver Phoenix, and of course the Royal Rumble, which we are incredibly excited for. We just want this work week to get over and done with, just so we can enjoy an amazing weekend of wrestling, man. So we're here to give our predictions for Royal Rumble weekend, man. As you guys know, we usually do these. We don't make wrestling videos often, but when it comes to massive pay-per-views or massive wrestling weekends like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, Survivor Series, stuff like that, we give our predictions.
Right, of course.
We might adapt to doing every single pay-per-view, or maybe adapt to doing more wrestling videos down the road. But as of right now, we're just going to continue on the path of doing massive or the major wrestling weekend predictions. So yeah. So we'll start off with NXT TakeOver Phoenix, man. We'll go from the bottom up. First match is we have Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno. This should be a pretty interesting match, man. These two have obviously fought a few times in the past. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Matt Riddle's going to win this. There's no reason for Cassius Ohno to win. Matt Riddle is new. Cassius Ohno's role in NXT right now is basically to put over the new guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So, now, Cassius Ohno is a phenomenal wrestler. I'm a big fan of Cassius Ohno in the ring. And I want to say he has a role, or he could have a role in NXT, but really he doesn't. You bring in all this new talent. Matt Riddle's coming up. Diamond Dijakovic, he's being brought up as well. So he really has no role. I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he enters the Royal Rumble, which I would like to see. Maybe that's his call up. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be a surprise in the Royal Rumble. Ohno is phenomenal talent. But he's like a needle in a haystack. He's lost. He's lost in the shuffle.
He just has no role. He had that great role when he first came to WWE. From his Chris Hero days, and he was originally supposed to be part of the Shield, according to CM Punk's idea. And he went back to Indies. He came back to NXT, and he hasn't done anything since. So
yeah, which is really upset because he's a phenomenal wrestler.
He is.
But nonetheless, Matt Riddle, phenomenal wrestler.
Incredibly charismatic, man. I'm a big fan of Matt Riddle.
Yeah, I definitely feel like he can be one of the top faces in the upcoming years in WWE.
Right.
I really do. So obviously, I'm gonna go with Matt Riddle here. But this one for Ohno, I don't think it really does anything. For Riddle, it definitely does.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it comes to the North American title or the NXT title.
Right. So yeah, Matt Riddle is definitely gonna win this in our opinion.
Next match, I'm just gonna come out and say it. This is gonna be match of the year already.
Dude, it's January. It's January, and we're already possibly going to have match of the year. The same thing happened last year with Andrade Cien Almas, and Johnny Gargano at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. That was a phenomenal match.
This match could very well be freaking better. Not only is it going to be match of the night, not only is it going to be match of the weekend, but it's going to be match of the freaking year.
Potentially. Ricochet versus Johnny Gargano, or Johnny TakeOver, or Johnny Badass. This is going to be an amazing match. This is going to be a fucking...
For the NXT North American Championship.
This is going to be an amazing match.
This is the match that should be for the NXT Championship, but you can't complain for the North American title.
No, because the North American title is still very new, and I got to say, it hasn't really been brought up. I mean, it's a very beautiful title. It's been treated somewhat prestigious, but this is the type of match that's really going to take the title to another level of prestige.
It definitely is.
Two of the best, and probably two of the best wrestlers in NXT right now, and Ricochet and Johnny Gargano fighting for that specific title. I think it's going to be a great match, man.
Absolutely.
And great for the NXT North American title overall.
This I can already tell it's going to be another 5-star match. If it ain't, then I don't know what the hell Dave Meltzer's thinking.
Johnny Gargano himself, now I'm not taking anything away from Ricochet, but Johnny Gargano himself is a 5-star match-making machine. You just can't have a poor match.
Even if you tried.
Yes.
Even if you tried. And Ricochet, same for him. The guy's fucking insane.
This guy's, I don't even know how good this guy, I don't know how agile, I don't know how quick, I don't know how crazy this guy is. I don't know how that's physically or logically possible.
I don't know.
This guy is the human Spider-Man.
He basically is. He really is. And Johnny Gargano, he's actually somewhat like Venom with his heel persona. He really is.
Yeah.
He has that Venom-like role.
I like what you did there.
Ricochet's Spider-Man and Johnny Gargano's the Venom.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty crazy. And I'm going to say Venom succeeds. Johnny Gargano becomes the new NXT North American champion.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do here. This is a little unpredictable. They could keep it on Ricochet. Maybe Johnny Gargano goes after Ciampa again. Maybe I don't think they're going to do that though. I think because the way Gargano is looking now, you know, how he's kind of a heel, sort of. I think he's just had a new lease on life and a new attitude, and it's pretty entertaining. And I think that new attitude is going to lead him to a NXT North American Championship victory. I think he wins it here. I think he beats Ricochet. Whether that's clean or not, either way, I think it's going to be a great match, and I can see Ciampa and Gargano just running through NXT as champions.
Yeah.
A heel DIY possibly coming together. Now Gargano's obviously against it, but I'm sure eventually, you know, he'll loosen up to the idea.
Yeah. So Johnny Gargano becomes new NXT North American champion.
And a amazing match.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking incredibly forward to. Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versus the War Raiders, which is Hanson and Rowe. This is going to be another good match, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a tag team match.
First of all, the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong are a phenomenal tag team. You know, almost every tag team match that they have put on has been incredible, with whether it's Mustache Mountain or whether it's Lorcan and Birch, whether it's the War Raiders, because they did have a pretty good match with the War Raiders. They actually had a decent match with the Authors of Pain last year I believe it was at Philadelphia.
I believe so.
So they are a hell of a tag team. And War Raiders, who are incredibly agile and athletic in themselves, and something that you rarely see from these two big guys.
Exactly.
This is going to be a fun match.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. See, the thing is, I can see the War Raiders winning it because eventually I can tell they're going to be tag team champions.
But the thing is, does NXT want to take the titles off of the Undisputed Era?
Yeah, who are hot right now and arguably the best tag team in all of WWE.
Right. And the thing is, if you give it to the War Raiders, what does that mean for Brooklyn? 4. Would that be Brooklyn 4?
No, it's Brooklyn 5.
Brooklyn, yeah, 5. My bad. I don't know.
I'm just going to go for a shot in the dark right here. I'm going to say Undisputed Era retains right here.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. I think they're going to set up like a big, maybe a big triple threat tag team match at a Brooklyn. It's going to be Undisputed Era, War Raiders, and Mustache Mountain again.
You think?
I definitely think so.
I'm just saying, I would love to see Undisputed Era and the Street Profits. I think that'd be a very entertaining match.
Or that could happen, you know, because Mustache Mountain's in NXT UK. And they're going to go for their tag team title, so why not put the Street Profits in there for a triple threat match?
Yeah, as they're being built up nicely as well. I'm going with this. I don't know, man. This is actually probably the most unpredictable match on the card. Well, either this or the women's tag or the women's match. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with the Undisputed Era. That's just me being uncertain. I have no idea what NXT, and that's the great thing about NXT, because you don't really know what direction they're gonna go. You don't really know who's gonna win. You know, very rarely do you know who's gonna win. Very rarely can you predict who's gonna win. This is one of those things where you kind of don't know, because you don't know what direction they're gonna go. War Raiders are incredibly deserving of the titles, but do they want to take off the Undisputed Era? And I feel like they can have much more opportunities and more possibility and much more must-see matches with the Undisputed Era heading into TakeOver Brooklyn.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Undisputed Era. I think they cheat though. I think because they want to protect the War Raiders as much as possible.
Yeah, I feel like Bobby Fish gets involved
or Adam Cole.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely see Undisputed Era retaining in a very controversial manner. Shayna Baszler versus Bianca Belair for the NXT Women's Championship. This should be a good match. Well, it could be a good, because, well, first of all,
no, I think it will be a hell of a match because Bianca Belair is a up and rising, fantastic women's wrestler.
Right.
She is the EST of NXT.
I think honestly,
she is phenomenal. And Shayna Baszler is getting better by every match.
Yeah, and their interaction on the mic a few weeks back was actually pretty entertaining. So now this is heel versus heel, or you could say heel versus tweener, because Bianca Belair is kind of a tweener right now, but I think she's full-fledged heel. She should remain a heel.
If you ask me, I think Belair is the Velveteen Dream of the women's division.
Either that or
she's heel and face.
Right.
She's a tweener, just like Velveteen Dream.
Honestly, I see Bianca Belair as a much more athletic Sasha Banks.
I could see that.
I don't know who's going to win this.
See, Bianca Belair is undefeated. You know, I really can't see Shayna Baszler, especially since she's aging. You know, I can't really see a wrestler of her age defeating a young and up-and-coming women's wrestler like Bianca Belair.
Or staying in NXT much longer, because you know Vince and WWE and the main roster want to get her on the main roster as soon as possible.
Yeah, they want
and
that
I think Baszler's ready.
They want that the WWE, the main roster, want that 4 horsewomen matchup for WWE and the UFC matchup.
Right, so...
See, the thing is, I think Shayna's going to stay.
Here's the thing, yeah. Now, I think Baszler's ready. Eventually, she's going to be called up. You know, it's only a matter of time. It's pretty inevitable soon. But do they want to... First of all, I mean, Bianca Belair being the one to beat Baszler, that's fine and dandy. But I think WWE still wants to protect Baszler as much as possible in some way. Because you saw when Kairi Sane beat her for the title in a great match, she didn't beat her with the insane elbow or submission. It was a roll-up. That's a pretty good way of beating Baszler, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Now losing to Bianca Belair is in no way a bad thing.
Right, she's undefeated.
Right. But I still think they want to protect her somehow. And I don't think that they want to have Baszler be the one to beat Bianca's undefeated streak.
Exactly.
So with that being said, I think this is going to go to some sort of a no contest or some sort of disqualification. I think this is going to further the feud and possibly add a third woman, maybe a Kairi Sane.
Because Kairi Sane still has her issues with Shayna Baszler.
Right.
And I think, because I predict that Shayna Baszler is going to retain via disqualification. I say that Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir are going to get involved and attack Bianca Belair.
Definitely. Having
Bianca win and keep that undefeated streak, but Baszler as champion.
Right.
Kairi Sane's going to get involved and cause a triple threat match for the NXT Women's title at Brooklyn 5.
Either Kairi Sane or Io Shirai. Either way, I think that somehow... Now, eventually Baszler's going to lose the title, but I don't think it's going to be because Baszler's going to be pinned or submitted. I honestly think that Bianca Belair is going to eventually take the title away from Baszler, but not necessarily pin her to take the title away from him. Maybe she pins a Kairi Sane, maybe she pins an Io Shirai. So, and since Dakota Kai's unfortunately out with an injury, I can definitely see Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, and Bianca Belair teaming up to face the horsewomen, or at least evening the odds down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'm going to a no contest with disqualification victory. Baszler still retained somehow. Main event, man. We have Tommaso Ciampa versus Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. This is going to be a fucking phenomenal match. Their match on NXT TV was phenomenal where Ciampa won the championship. Now, with Aleister Black a little more comfortable, a little more steady, a little more kind of reborn since his injury, I think Aleister Black is just... I don't know how, but he's kind of become a much more intriguing, more intense, more fun performer in the ring since that. Because you can't now he was still a great performer before, but after the injury,
with this whodunit storyline, when spoiler alert, in case you guys don't know, Johnny Gargano is the one who took out Aleister Black via storyline.
Right.
That's what really made Aleister Black more intriguing and more must see, and perhaps the biggest babyface in NXT.
Right, and it just brought out a much more aggressive, more intense Black.
And that's why I like it, especially with how he portrays his character. That's what you really like to see. That's how Undertaker was a bit.
Right, and pair him up with Tommaso Ciampa, who is just a puppet master or an evil bastard, I guess. Yeah. So this is gonna be a fun match, man. I'm gonna have Tommaso Ciampa retain.
Yeah, I think Aleister Black makes his main roster debut the next night at the Royal Rumble. I think that's going to be one of the biggest surprises of the Royal Rumble. I would love that.
But here's the thing. If he makes his main roster debut, do you give him the victory? Or the way I see it, if Aleister Black is going to head to the main roster after this, because realistically, if Black loses, what does he have after this? Nothing, really. He's obviously ready for the main roster, but after this, there's nothing else for him. So,
exactly. So I think this will be his last match in NXT. I say Ciampa retains the NXT Championship.
Right, I agree. I think Ciampa wins. If Black enters the Royal Rumble, there's no doubt in my mind he should be in the Final 4 or Final 5, Final 10. He should definitely be in the final few guys in that match.
Exactly.
No, I wouldn't mind him winning it, but I think he should definitely be one of the final guys to be in the match. And honestly, I look at Aleister Black, because NXT, WWE has a history of ruining NXT talent. We know this.
Yeah, just look at Sami Zayn, a bit of Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, the biggest Finn Balor, Neville.
Bobby Roode.
Yeah, so, seriously, Bobby Roode.
You guys get the picture. But I look at Aleister Black, and I just don't see how they can mess him up.
Yeah, how can you fail that type of gimmick? If you think about it, that's the type of gimmick that Vince truly loves.
Yes, it's not only that, but you just look at Aleister Black. You just look at him, and you don't see him, failing.
Now, if he does go to the main roster, what does he do? He could have a great match against the Demon Finn Balor at WrestleMania. Although I'm hearing that Finn Balor may face The Undertaker, which I'm excited for.
Well, Finn Balor has already put on Twitter a few weeks back, before NXT UK, that it shows a picture of him doing the double stomp, not the coup de grace, but the standing double stomp to the Undertaker.
Yeah.
It was obviously Photoshop, but it was kind of like seeds were planted for that match at WrestleMania,
Exactly.
which I'm hoping we get as well.
But if you ask me, I think the perfect match for Aleister Black at WrestleMania,
if he does have a match at WrestleMania,
is against Bray Wyatt. I would love Black versus Wyatt. I think the promos would be absolutely insane. I think the match would be absolutely amazing. Can you imagine Black versus Wyatt?
That's fucking awesome.
Just the way they portray their characters.
That would be incredible. That would be incredible, man. What's also going to be incredible is NXT TakeOver Phoenix this Saturday, man. Cannot wait for that show. And we move forward to the Royal Rumble, which I'm actually pretty excited for. Well, first of all, I'm always excited for the Rumble, and that's mostly due to the Rumble. But I got to get, we criticize WWE pretty heavily sometimes.
I mean, how can you now with the way they,
right,
portray things on television?
Right, but I got to give them credit. They have actually put up a pretty stacked card this year, man, compared to last year, which, last year's card wasn't too bad, but you kind of look at last year's card to this year's card, last year's card is incredibly inferior.
Exactly.
And this year's card is actually pretty decent outside of a few matches. One match, which is on the pre-show, is Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Side note, Nakamura won the Rumble last year, and he's on the pre-show this year, so that's kind of
Did you acknowledge that Nakamura won the Rumble last year? Do you even remember that?
First of all, that Rumble was awesome. Second of all, no, I don't.
It's like, my guy, he didn't win the WWE Championship once, and he fought for that title like 5 different times.
Yeah.
Didn't win it once, and that killed Nakamura. Then they gave him the U.S. title and did nothing for him.
Yeah, because he was off television for like fucking a month straight.
And I'm actually hearing that Nakamura may very well leave the WWE, and I don't blame him. I just don't think WWE is going to allow it because of AEW. I don't.
Well, not only that, but, does Nakamura also want to either move back to Japan after he just moved to Orlando when he signed with NXT or, some shit? Does he want to move again? That might be too much on his family, so.
They're too much on his plate, but.
Right.
Rusev versus Nakamura, we've seen this several times. I'm not really interested in this match whatsoever.
I kind of am because these two have actually put on a decent show every time they're in the ring. Their match at, what was it? I think it was one of last year's pay-per-views. I can't remember. I think it was Fastlane or some shit.
Are you sure it wasn't Crown Jewel?
No, it was no. Well, the ending at Crown Jewel was actually pretty intense. But I remember last year when Rusev still had his Rusev Day thing with Aiden English, he faced Nakamura. I think it was at Fastlane. I think it was before WrestleMania. I can't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was actually a pretty good match. And then their match at SmackDown Live, where Rusev won the title, was actually pretty good as well. So I can see this being a decent match. And the build for this, it hasn't really had much build.
That's why I'm not excited about it. Plus, we've seen it several times.
Right, but at the same time, yes, there's a massive difference between NXT and WWE. A few years back when they had NXT, what was it, NXT Chicago or some shit? I remember one match. It was Gargano and Almas, and then there was also Black and Hideo Itami. 2 matches that had no build, and they were incredible matches. Now, yes,
right,
it's two totally different brands, but you get what I mean. Sometimes less build could still lead to decent matches. That could be the same with Rusev Nakamura, but I just don't see much in this, honestly. This could be a good match, but there's not much.
To be honest, I don't really care about this match at all. I'm just gonna say Rusev retains the title.
Yeah, Rusev.
He just won the title. I don't see them taking it off of him whatsoever.
Yeah.
I can't see Nakamura holding the title again. He really did nothing with the title.
I think
he was directionless. He still is.
Nakamura's done in WWE, in my opinion, honestly.
And that's WWE's fault.
Right.
They fucked him.
Right. I'm going with Rusev. I think we'll see these two in the Royal Rumble later tonight.
Yeah, more than likely.
Second pre-show match is Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa versus Hideo Itami versus Kalisto. I have not watched 205 Live in like 3 months, to be honest with you. Because when we get home from work, we watch the replays of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and we just either A, don't have much time for 205 Live, or there just isn't too much interest in 205 Live. So I'm going to go with the champion, Buddy Murphy. I'm a big fan of Buddy Murphy. His matches with Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander were incredible as hell. And I think he's still. I just don't see why they take the title off him after what he's done with his career.
Yeah, exactly.
And what he can do in the ring. So I think Buddy Murphy retains here.
Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be a hell of a match. Fatal 4, especially with the Cruiserweights, Fatal 4-ways, multi-man matches with the Cruiserweights are always fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm actually interested in this match just based on what these Cruiserweights can do in the ring.
Yeah, because Tozawa, Itami, and Kalisto are very underrated wrestlers.
They are.
They're very athletic. They're very, charismatic in the ring. They're damn good.
Right.
And Buddy Murphy is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is watch his matches with Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander, like you said.
Right. So I'm gonna go with Buddy Murphy retaining here. Should be a pretty interesting match though. Hopefully this would end the pre-show, but I'm sure it's gonna open it. But
The more likely, Buddy Murphy.
The Bar versus the Miz and Shane McMahon. I have very little interest in this match. I'm just not interested in the Miz and Shane McMahon as a tag team or possibly being tag team champions. The way I see it, if they do win the titles, it's probably going to last for like 2 weeks to a month. And then the Miz and Shane are going to have some sort of disagreement. Then Miz is going to turn on them. We're going to get Miz and Shane at WrestleMania. I guarantee you that's the direction they're going. And if that's the case, I don't know why the hell you just take the title off of the Bar. If you're just going to take the title off of Miz and Shane a month later.
I'm not even interested in... I'm not really too invested into the Bar as I was when they were on Raw. I'm going to admit, they were better on Raw than they were on SmackDown.
Raw. Their feud with New Day on Raw was pretty decent. Now, we saw thousands and multiple reiterations of Rollins and Ambrose and Rollins and Jordan, but at least, every time they're in the ring, they kind of tore the house down.
Exactly.
Especially when Cesaro fucked up his teeth on that turnbuckle. Or a ring or whatever it was. That was a hell of a match, and he still finished the match and shit. So yeah, the Bar. I mean, they're at the lowest they've ever been as a tag team. I don't know what that means for them down the road.
Miz and Shane. I mean, I excuse me. I don't understand why this is a top priority in the tag team division when you got tag teams like the Club and Gallows and Anderson,
right?
Or Sanity, or the Usos. You definitely could have put the Usos in this match, especially with the way they were being built up.
Right.
I don't get why they got to put the Miz and Shane in this.
Right.
I don't.
It's just the thing that really ticks me off about this match is at one point the Miz was in consideration of either being the WWE champion and facing AJ Styles for the title at this very event, or winning the championship from AJ Styles at this very event, with Daniel Bryan possibly winning the Royal Rumble and us getting Bryan and Miz at the Royal Rumble. But obviously that has completely changed since Bryan has turned heel. And you look at that Miz to what he could have had at this specific event to what he's doing now. It's weird.
Exactly. Miz has gone like completely fucking goofy right now.
Right.
It's ridiculous. This is not how I picture the Miz.
Right.
I don't.
I'm going to go with what do they call themselves? The greatest tag team in the world or some shit?
I guess.
I'm going to go with Miz and Shane, but I doubt that their title reign lasts more than a month before Miz turns on them and we get a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm going to say Miz and Shane.
Yeah. One match I'm incredibly excited for is Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks. The build for this match has been decent. The build on Raw side hasn't been too effective. SmackDown has been a little better. But I don't think that's going to stop these two women or any of these people on the show from putting on a decent show or a good match. Ronda Rousey has come into her own. I'm a big fan of Ronda Rousey. She has become a phenomenal performer. She is great in the ring. It's like she was born to be a wrestler. Now, she's a phenomenal UFC fighter and everything. But it's like she was born, because she grew up a massive wrestling fan. It's like she was born to be a wrestler, because you can just see the heart and determination and the love she actually has. And you can just see, she brings it out in the ring when it comes to a good opponent or when it comes to a world title match or a women's title match.
Exactly. And Sasha Banks is self-explanatory. In my opinion, she doesn't really get a lot of recognition as she deserves. She is damn good in the ring.
She's just very controversial for shit that has happened to her in the past, especially with Paige and her botch against Asuka last year, which...
But accidents happen in the ring.
Right.
They happen in the ring. Nonetheless, Sasha Banks is a hell of a wrestler.
Right, and that's not going to stop Sasha Banks from putting on a great match with Ronda Rousey.
Of course.
So
I actually think this could actually steal the show on this pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
I agree. With that being said...
But I don't see Sasha Banks winning the title.
No.
I think this is just a one-off just to get past Royal Rumble. So I'm going to say Ronda Rousey retains the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ronda here, but this is going to be an exciting match. Ronda Rousey had put on a decent match with Nia Jax the 2 times she faced her, and Nia Jax is just god-awful.
Yeah.
Her with Sasha Banks, her with someone that is just as equal or if better than her or actually someone who actually go in the ring, this is going to be a fun match.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with Ronda retaining, but this is going to be, I think Sasha looks pretty good and very strong in this match as well, though. Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This is going to be another great match, man. I don't know what they do here. There are many things that they, the possibilities they could do with this match is incredible.
They could give Becky Lynch the title back.
Now, first of all, I'm glad that they gave Asuka a world title reign. She is incredibly deserving. It was one of the few times, TLC was one of the few times where I actually stood up out of my seat and did a slow clap to WWE and the main roster for doing the right thing and giving Asuka the championship.
Yeah, it was about time they gave her the SmackDown Women's title.
And not only that, but how they ended that match with Ronda Rousey pushing not only Charlotte, but Becky down and costing them both the match and the title.
Yeah, which plants seeds for their potential match at WrestleMania.
Right, and so what do they do with this match? Do they have Becky win the title again? Or do they have Asuka retain and Becky step into the Rumble match and possibly win it?
I don't know.
Which I would love. I would love that. I think Asuka should still keep the title. I'm glad they gave her the title. I think it would be a little wrong just to give her the title and have her lose it a month later. Now, giving it to Becky Lynch is not a bad idea, but I think Asuka is still deserving of being champion. I think Becky Lynch should definitely go on to bigger and better things, and that is the Rumble. And I think Asuka could have... And Asuka, as champion heading to WrestleMania, is a little bit unpredictable because you don't know who she could face. She could face Naomi, Mandy Rose, maybe a Nikki Cross, maybe a... who knows? Maybe Shayna Baszler. Who fucking knows?
Exactly.
So,
But I'm going to go with Asuka on this one because I feel like if Becky Lynch loses, she's going to go into the Women's Royal Rumble, which she should.
Right.
If you ask me, there's no other better woman to win that Rumble match than Becky Lynch.
Right, or at least be a finalist for that match.
Exactly. So I'm going to say Asuka retains the Women's Championship right here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Asuka as well. However she beats Becky, I don't know. Maybe it's controversial. Maybe it's dirty. Maybe someone screws Becky. Who knows? Maybe Carmella comes out and screws Becky for some unknown reason. Maybe Charlotte screws Becky. Maybe Ronda comes out and screws Becky. You know, maybe she still has some stupid shit with Becky. I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Which I would love to see that match at WrestleMania. That is your go-to match at WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with Asuka here, and I think Becky... I don't think this is the last time we see Becky at the Royal Rumble. So,
no.
Yeah. Should be a good match, though. The new Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. The real AJ Styles.
For the WWE Championship, this match should be fucking awesome.
This match is going to be incredible. Their match at TLC was incredible, and I think Daniel Bryan becoming more and more great, or being more and more great as the weeks go by, and AJ Styles kind of showing a little bit more of an aggressive side, I guess. These past few weeks, I think it's going to be a much better match than the one they had at TLC. This should be a fun one. I think Daniel Bryan wins, though. I don't think they take it off of Daniel Bryan. I don't know who they have face it. I don't know who they have Bryan face at WrestleMania. I don't know who they have Styles face at WrestleMania. If I'm booking that, I'm going AJ Styles and Randy Orton.
Right, and if AJ Styles does win the WWE Championship right here, I wouldn't mind Orton beating a face Styles and him being the main heel on SmackDown with the WWE Championship.
Right, but if Styles wins here, what do you do with Bryan at WrestleMania?
That I don't know.
That's the thing. Now, again, but what do you still do with Bryan at WrestleMania if he's the champion? Who do you have him face? I'd love to see him and Mustafa Ali again, or him and Joe, him and Almas would be fucking incredible. Him and, the possibilities with SmackDown is incredible.
Yeah, it really is. See, but I think Daniel Bryan retained right here.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan definitely retains.
I don't think they should take it off Daniel Bryan right now. He's hot. He's being great with his heel persona, I just feel like you should not take it off of Bryan.
No way in hell. And AJ Styles, he's still going to have a match at WrestleMania. No way they keep him off. And I think Randy Orton is the number one opponent you have him face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan in a pretty good match. Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor for the Universal, Championship. I'm actually excited for this match, man.
I've never been more excited for a Universal Championship match before.
Yes.
Because Universal Champion match has been utter freaking
garbage. The Universal Championship itself is probably the most unprestige, the most uncaring title in WWE right now.
Probably ever in history. And it's only been in existence for almost 2 years now.
I swear to God. The Light Heavyweight Championship, which was given no care in the Attitude Era, has more prestige than this fucking title.
It actually does.
Now, they could change that immensely right now. And this match, man, this should be very interesting. This was originally supposed to be Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. I'm kind of glad that they changed it because, Braun Strowman's probably going to be in the Rumble, which is good for him. And I think Finn Balor is much more deserving of a title match than Braun. Now, I like Braun, I really do. I think he was incredibly deserving of the Universal title. I don't think he is right now, but he definitely... Now, this is the thing with WWE. I wouldn't mind them giving the title to Braun Strowman. The issue is it's a little too late because the fans are still a little uncaring on Braun Strowman. And that's what I hate about fucking wrestling fans, man. You know, WWE gives the person that the fans want as champion, they give them the championship, but yet the fans still complain, and then that's exactly their comeback. You know, the thing with WWE is that they don't strike when the iron is hot. They take forever. They don't give it to them when they're hot as hell. That's the thing with Rusev, man. They didn't give him the title when the Rusev Day thing was hot as hell.
Or even the tag team titles. You know, him as United States champion right now, no one really gives a damn.
Right, and that's because they took too fucking long. You know, if they gave him the title a year ago at the Royal Rumble or at WrestleMania, that would have been the perfect fucking time because the fans were hot and incredibly high on him. And then the same thing goes with Braun Strowman when he was in that feud with Roman Reigns, or when he was in that feud with Brock Lesnar at No Mercy.
No Mercy was the perfect event to give Braun Strowman the title, and
yes.
They failed to do that. They failed to do that.
And because they don't give them the title, or because they don't capitalize on their hotness and their heat, or their good heat, the fans don't give a shit, and they just drop the idea, or they just drop everything about them wanting him to be pushed, or them wanting him to be the champion. And because WWE doesn't give a fuck, we don't give a fuck, and they don't give the title to him until the last fucking second, where the fans don't give a fuck anymore. Exactly. And that's the thing with Braun Strowman. He's falling into that fucking trap. He is the latest victim to that trap, basically.
He is.
So I think Finn Balor stepping in is much better now.
Yeah, and if you look at the recent history of Lesnar, he always has better matches with much smaller guys. I mean, look at his match with CM Punk back at SummerSlam. Look at his match with AJ Styles at Survivor Series last year. Well, 2 years, technically. Look at his match with Daniel Bryan last year at Survivor Series.
Or you can even say the same thing with Eddie Guerrero at No Way Out in 2004. You know.
Exactly. When he faces much smaller, superior guys. Exactly. When he faces much more smaller and superior guys to him, he always has a better match.
And I think that's out of just respect that Lesnar has for those individuals, you know. Now, Finn Balor getting this title is a little weird. It was kind of out of nowhere. I am very glad that they're giving Balor a shot at the title and they're kind of pushing him. Now, does it feel a little unorganic because of this whole AEW shit? Yeah, maybe a little. But I'm still pretty happy that they're giving Balor the title match.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's really going to complain too much about Balor finally getting a Universal Championship match.
Like I said, it's not that organic because of this whole AEW shit, but it's still pretty good to see him getting a push that he deserves and everything.
Because Finn Balor is actually one of those superstars that he is always going to be over no matter what.
Yes.
Like, him being over will never go away.
Yes.
Because everyone loves Finn Balor.
Well, yeah, you see it every Monday night when he does his hand gesture. You see everyone in the crowd do it along with him, you know. Like,
exactly.
So, now, do they give him the title here? I would.
Because why would you push Finn Balor for this match and book him in this match against Brock Lesnar?
And then you have Cena say, I believe, and the fans, I believe, and
all this build-up, even Vince McMahon saying he doesn't believe in Finn Balor. Why would you not do an underdog story with Finn Balor becoming Universal Champion?
Right. Now, if he loses, that doesn't necessarily mean this is the end of his push. Now, that does put him at the back of the line because he did lose. More than likely clean Lesnar.
Right. But I'm hearing that WWE is still wanting to push him big, including a match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Which is completely fine with me. I would love to see it.
Undertaker's last match. Undertaker really hasn't faced a much smaller guy since CM Punk, and that was a hell of a match.
And I would love to see Balor versus the
Demon
versus Deadman.
Exactly.
Now we could see the Demon here, but Vince. We all know that Vince is very eager on not having the Demon lose, and I'm sure that they're not going to give Balor the title. Now what I would do is I would have Balor win the title, which makes the Royal Rumble a little bit more unpredictable because you don't know who's necessarily going. And not only that the match with Lesnar at WrestleMania is a little unpredictable as well. Now, what I would do with Lesnar at WrestleMania if he's not the champion, I would have Lashley drop the fucking title and just do that match. That's the main reason Lashley has came back, but we haven't seen it. Just get that match over and done with.
Or you could, bring back Batista for that title match.
Right.
Because Batista's always wanted to face Brock Lesnar.
And WWE still wants to have him in a big match.
Or if you want to push a new big giant star, a next big man, you can put Lars Sullivan in that situation.
Right.
Because Brock Lesnar actually personally came to Lars Sullivan to train with him.
Right.
You know, so why not do a passing of the torch?
He never gets off his couch for anything.
Exactly. So why not do a passing of the torch kind of thing with Lars Sullivan going against Brock Lesnar?
Possibly.
I'm sure Brock Lesnar wouldn't be.
Oh hell yeah, no doubt. Now I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Lesnar's still gonna retain. I think they'll definitely make Balor look good. I think this match will be very similar to the match that he had with Dale and Bryan at SummerSlam. At Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I think Balor comes close. I think it's going to be a heart-beating moment or a jump or on the edge of your seat, jump out of your seat.
Just like how it was for Survivor Series when Daniel Bryan almost won.
When he low-blowed Brock Lesnar and hit him with that big knee, I swear to God, I thought it was over. And he kicked out, and I went fucking crazy, man. I swear to God. I think the same thing is going to happen with Finn Balor here, man.
I just think that Brock Lesnar is actually going to retain the title right here.
Yes.
I do not think they're going to take it off of him.
Right. Either way, I can't. Now, I don't want to see Lesnar as champion, but I still think that still means big things for who he's going to face at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because no doubt, in my opinion, the Royal Rumble winner is going to be a Raw superstar. The last 2 years, Randy Orton and Nakamura have both won the Rumble. It's definitely going to go to a Raw superstar now. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar winning, but this is going to be a great match. This is going to be a fun match. I think Balor looks very good in this match in defeat, and I think Balor still has hopefully a bright future in the WWE. Down the road to WrestleMania,
yeah,
and hopefully he gets a Universal title match. Hopefully at SummerSlam again. We'll see what happens, or Money in the Bank. So, maybe he wins Money in the Bank.
Yeah, something which I would love.
Right. So, the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble match. Obviously, whoever wins gets a Women's Championship match at WrestleMania, whether it be for the Raw Women's Championship match or a SmackDown Women's Championship. Well, first of all, I want to name the participants because there are 23 entrants that have been announced as of January 23rd, which is a Wednesday, which is when we're recording this. Carmella, who is number 30 for winning the Mixed Match Challenge. Ember Moon, Natalya, Bayley, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Alicia Fox, Zelina Vega, Naomi, Mickie James, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Charlotte Flair, Tamina, Dana Brooke, Lana, Nia Jax, Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, and Lacey Evans.
So that's 23 women wrestlers as of right now.
Right. So that leaves 7 people or 7 entrants to possibly be in that match. Now, who could that be? I can definitely see maybe an NXT female. Maybe we see Mia Yim. Maybe Candice LeRae. Maybe we see NXT UK women. Maybe a Toni Storm. Maybe a
Rhea Ripley.
Maybe a Isla Dawn. Maybe a what's her name?
What's she look like?
I think she's a brunette. What the fuck's her name?
I can't remember.
I can't remember her fucking name, man. What is her name? She has an MMA background, I believe. I cannot remember. I'm thinking of her right now. I cannot remember her name. I think you guys know who I'm talking about, though. She's from NXT UK. She's a hell of a superstar. I definitely think we're going to see Lita and Trish Stratus again, or at least one of them. I would love to see Paige return.
I mean, you got to think. Ever since she was technically released from her SmackDown Live general manager duty, what's she going to do with WWE now?
And by the way, we haven't seen her since. And Shane did say she's not going anywhere. She's not leaving SmackDown, so maybe she's preparing for in-ring return. I think, also, I heard she was cleared to return a few months ago, so I don't know how.
So maybe she's
how valid that is, though.
Maybe she's quietly and privately training to get back to the ring. I don't know.
Which I would love to see. I would love to see, and that'd be a hell of a story and a hell of a reaction, man. Just hear Paige's music and her run down to the ring and just tear the house down. So, I would love to see that, and maybe we do see that. I would love to see. This is weird. This is a one night only. Only for one night only. I wouldn't mind seeing Karma return. Karma. Remember her?
Yeah. She spent like a year in WWE.
She got pregnant and she went into the Men's Royal Rumble 2012 and kind of scared the shit out of Michael Cole and then hit that finisher on Ziggler, eliminated Hunico before she was eliminated. So I wouldn't mind her being in the women's match.
Yeah, because her appearance in WWE was very, very disappointing.
It was very disappointing.
Because I was actually excited to see a woman of her size, what she was going to do in that women's division.
Right, because she was good in TNA when she was Awesome Kong, and her coming in WWE as Karma, I was actually pretty interested because I did watch TNA as a kid, and to see her come in WWE, I was a little excited as a kid. So, and obviously her debut and her run in WWE was very underwhelming. So I would like to see her debut or a return for a one-night only appearance.
Yeah.
I don't know who would eliminate her. Maybe just a bunch of women just gain up on her and eliminate her kind of on some Viscera shit or Rikishi shit or Big Show, like they did in the old days. So
yeah. Maybe we can see a return of Michelle McCool.
Maybe.
Or I'm trying to think of this. Victoria. We see a big return of Victoria.
I highly doubt that.
You never know.
I highly doubt that because of what has come out in her personal life the past few days. And apparently she wanted to be backstage for Royal Rumble last year to meet up with the girls again, and apparently WWE kicked her out or didn't allow her into the ring. I did see a sign on SmackDown a few weeks though. I think someone said Victoria for Hall of Fame. And it was ringside. You could clearly see it. I give that man massive props. That was fucking incredible.
Yeah, it was.
So, I don't know who else we see in the Rumble. Maybe if you guys have any ideas, give us your guys' ideas or opinions in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. So.
But the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble, who do I think is going to win?
Well, first of all, the winner of Asuka and Becky Lynch is going to be incredibly. Or basically what I'm trying to say is that match is going to judge what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because
whatever the outcome of that match is going to be even more interesting to see what happens in the Women's Royal Rumble.
The result of that match is going to judge the result of the Women's Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
Because there's no doubt. The two main people who are going to win this match is Charlotte or Becky Lynch. There's no other woman that stands a chance. I would love to see Ember Moon win it. She hasn't done anything. She needs to move to fucking SmackDown and just go back down to NXT.
I don't see how you don't have anything planned for Ember Moon.
Right.
I really don't get it.
Right. So, the two women are definitely going to win this match is either Charlotte or Becky Lynch. The result of the SmackDown Women's title match is really going to judge the result of this match. If Asuka wins, then Becky Lynch still has a shot to enter the match. And
maybe she takes out Carmella and beats number 30. Who knows? Who freaking knows?
She's a fucking man. Like, she can do whatever the fuck she wants.
And if Carmella comes in at number 30, it's just going to be a waste of a spot. Yeah. So why not give it to someone more important, like a Becky Lynch? That is, if she does lose, is to Asuka.
Right. Or maybe she just attacks a random fucking person. Maybe she attacks, I don't know,
Alicia Fox. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Who wants to see Alicia Fox? So, yeah. I'm going to go with... Now, let's say Becky Lynch is in that match. What happens? It's obviously going to be Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Who wins the match? Is it Charlotte? Is it Becky? Or do we get a draw like Lex Luger and, what's his face, Bret Hart?
That's what I think is going to happen.
And then...
I personally think that's what's going to happen.
Because we get co-winners, and they both have a thing with Ronda Rousey, and you guys know where that heads. Exactly. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Exactly. They're both going to want to get revenge and fight Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania.
Right.
So that makes a triple... That causes the triple threat match at WrestleMania to happen and possibly even main event the show.
As it should. Now, I would just plainly do Ronda and Becky, and then I'd have Charlotte and Asuka for the women's titles.
But no, in WWE, they can't keep Charlotte Flair out the main event. They can't keep Charlotte Flair out the storyline.
Charlotte Flair already has enough. She already is tied with Trish Stratus for most women's title reigns in WWE history. She beat Asuka's streak. She is the first woman to hold the NXT, Divas, Raw Women's, and SmackDown Live Women's titles. Like
she's basically the first ever Grand Slam Women's Champion.
Right, and she's probably going to win the first ever Queen of the Ring if they ever do that. So how many first is Charlotte ever going to have?
Exactly. You know, you need to give the honors to other women wrestlers
that are much more deserving that are organically just over. You know, like Becky Lynch.
Or an Asuka, or a Ronda Rousey, or a Sasha Banks, or a Bayley, or a Ruby Riott, or an Ember Moon.
Right, exactly. So now, if Becky wins the title, then Charlotte's obviously definitely winning it. If Asuka retains, then I think it's gonna be a draw.
Yeah,
definitely. Now the men's Royal Rumble match, man. First of all, I'm excited for both women. Now, the women's Royal Rumble match is much more predictable than the men's Royal Rumble match. I still think the women's Royal Rumble match is still going to be a little more investing, a little more intriguing, or not as intriguing as the men's, but it's still going to be pretty intriguing. The men's is definitely going to be very intriguing because you don't know where they're going to go. Now, I think that the Royal Rumble match is listed down to 5 winners, either 5 people. either Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre, who I think are the top two. Maybe Braun Strowman, since he was stripped of his title match. Maybe Samoa Joe, or maybe Andrade Cien Almas. Andrade, I'm sorry. Just name him Cien Almas. Like, his theme song has Cien Almas said in it. Just name him Cien Almas.
If you ask me, you can even put Mustafa Ali in there. You really can. Because he has that underdog story like Rey Mysterio had in 2006.
Mustafa Ali is SmackDown's Seth Rollins.
He is.
To be real with you. And it's just not the way he looks. It's just, he is an incredibly believable babyface. He really is. And he is just so investing, man. The way he sells, what he says what he does in the ring, what he says in his promos. Mustafa Ali is a fucking monster. He is a beast.
He is.
I think he's going to have a bright future. I honestly think that he's going to win the WWE Championship sometime this year.
I definitely think he should.
Whether that be at WrestleMania from Daniel Bryan, maybe that be at SummerSlam or Money in the Bank or whatever. Maybe he wins Money in the Bank, and I can't wait for Money in the Bank because there can be many people that could win it. It could be Joe, it could be Andrade, it could be Ali, it could be
Ambrose again. It could be Rollins again. It could be McIntyre. It could be a lot of people.
Right. So
it really could be. But the participants for the Men's Royal Rumble match is R-Truth, who will be number 30.
Now, here's the thing. Is R-Truth actually going to come out number 30, or is he going to come out number 30 for the women's match, or is he going to be number 1, mistaking himself for number 30? Now, he's been going on saying, I'm number 30, so maybe he won't do that, but knowing R-Truth's character, maybe he does some, maybe he pulls a funny trick and thinks he's actually number 1.
Exactly. So R-Truth, Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Seth Rollins, Jeff Hardy, Dean Ambrose, Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, John Cena, Elias.
John Cena, and I don't mean to tell you. John Cena apparently has a ankle injury from last week's Raw, which I think is a work.
It might be. I don't know if he's going to be there or not, but we'll see.
Yeah.
What did I stop at? Elias, Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal, Apollo Crews, Andrade, Mustafa Ali, Rey Mysterio, Titus O'Neil, and Randy Orton.
Yeah. This should be a very fun match, man. Last year's Rumble was very fun. We got to see Andrade when he was NXT champion. Adam Cole was awesome. Rey Mysterio was probably the surprise of the match. The Hurricane was great. So, last year's Rumble was very, very fun. I think this Rumble could be equally as fun, maybe a little more fun if WWE wants to get a little more creative.
Yeah.
I definitely think we see some NXT guys.
Yeah.
Maybe EC3, he's on the main roster. He's definitely going to be in there. Maybe we see some of the Undisputed Era again. Maybe we see Adam Cole, and maybe we get maybe Roderick Strong, maybe Bobby Fish, maybe Kyle O'Reilly. I would love to see Velveteen Dream, not as a permanent call-up. Keep Velveteen Dream down in NXT for as long as you can, because you saw when DIY lost the titles to the Authors of Pain in NXT TakeOver Chicago 1, we all thought that DIY was going to be brought up as a tag team, but Triple H, in his great creative mind, turned Ciampa heel and kept Ciampa and Gargano in NXT as long as possible. And here they are, still in NXT, possibly going to have two of the best matches of this entire year already.
Exactly.
So, Velveteen Dream, the same thing needs to happen with him. He needs to stay in NXT as long as possible. He is incredible.
He's only like, 22, 23 years old?
This guy is...
He cannot go to the main roster yet. Spend another year or two in NXT, then you can go to the main roster.
Yes.
Velveteen Dream is the next big thing.
Yes. And honestly, I think he could be the next face of the WWE. Now, but that's not going to stop me from me wanting to see him in the Royal Rumble, because there were a few NXT talents like Andrade who wasn't last year. That wasn't his call-up. Adam Cole, that wasn't his call-up. Ty Dillinger a few years back, that kind of wasn't his call-up. So I can see Velveteen Dream definitely being in this match. I would love to see it. That'd be a great surprise. Maybe Aleister Black.
Maybe Matt Riddle, maybe Cassius Ohno, maybe we get a surprise guy like
Keith Lee, maybe. Maybe.
I'm trying to think of some surprise guys that come back to the WWE for like a one-night appearance.
You know who I would really like to see? And this just clicked in my mind.
What's that?
Now, first of all, Elias. I'm a big fan of Elias. I think he's incredibly entertaining. I think he's incredibly funny. I do wish WWE did a little more with him instead of just concerts and stuff. I definitely think he should be the Intercontinental Champion as we speak. Not Bobby Lashley. Definitely Elias. First of all, I want to go back to the surprises real quick. And then I'll get back to the last thing. I would love to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn return. That'd be fucking awesome.
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, maybe Kurt Angle, because I'm hearing that he's going to be at the Rumble, so there's no doubt in my mind he'll be in there. Maybe
The Undertaker. I would love to see Undertaker and Aleister Black have just a slight face-off. You know how Goldberg and Taker did a few years back?
Yeah.
I would love to see the same thing happen with Taker and Aleister Black. Can you imagine the chills and the the emotion that would just come out from the crowd and inside you, man? Maybe we see HBK again.
Yeah, HBK.
Or Bray Wyatt. I would love to see Bray, because Bray Wyatt has been at live events for the past 2 months. I would love to see Bray Wyatt return. Maybe Seeds are planning for a match somewhere. Maybe, like you said, maybe we get Black and Wyatt again. Who knows?
Which I would absolutely love.
Right. But back to Elias. I love Elias. I wish they did more with him. But imagine him being number one, because he always does these concert things. I like what they did with him last year, where Corbin basically tore down the house or cleaned house, and Elias came out and did a little concert. But, you know, WWE's going to want to do the same thing this year.
Because that's Elias' character.
Right. So maybe Elias is number one, and he does a little concert, and then maybe at number two, I'm just saying, maybe we see the Honky Tonk Man, and we get a little
the Honky Tonk Man?
Yeah, maybe we see a little bit of an interaction between Elias and the Honky Tonk Man, because let's be real, Elias is kind of like the Honky Tonk Man in some way, you know, just based on the guitar and his concerts and everything. Now, they are two completely different characters, or they look completely different, obviously. But they do have a little similarities with the guitars. So maybe we see the Honky Tonk Man return at number two. Maybe we get a little bit of a concert, maybe a little bit of an interaction with them, and then Elias hits him with Honky Tonk Man's, typical guitar spot, and then the bell rings, and then Elias throws him over the top, and then, yeah.
I would absolutely love that.
Would that be kind of a little bit of a waste? But, that's what the Honky Tonk Man does. He comes out to the Royal Rumble, does a little concert, and then gets hit with the guitar and gets thrown over the top. That's what Honky Tonk Man does. That's the kind of only worth he would have. And can you just imagine the crowd in Phoenix just singing along to his theme song?
Yes, I know I would. In Chase Field?
I always do. I go back to the 2001 Royal Rumble where he did a little concert with Kane before Kane threw him over the top.
Yeah, and hit him in the head with the guitar.
I always sing his theme song, man. So
it's a catchy theme. He's an entertaining guy.
He is.
And him with Elias, I would love that.
Right, and the thing is, with Jerry Lawler commentating this match, and Jerry Lawler and Honky Tonk Man are cousins, I believe. So
yeah, they are.
I think that could be. I think that could open the door for Honky Tonk Man and Elias to possibly get something going. So I think that'd be very fun. I think that'd be a very entertaining spot to see to start off the Rumble and possibly set the tone for the Rumble. But yeah, those are just a few surprises we love to see. If you guys have any more surprises or ideas that you love to see, go ahead and put them down below, man. I think it'd be very interesting to hear from you guys.
Yeah. But now, the winner of the Royal Rumble match, the men's Royal Rumble match to be specific, I could see Braun Strowman now. He's not declared yet, but I'm sure he will be in
yeah, he's definitely going to be in. There's no way they keep him off the card.
Yeah, so I could see Braun Strowman winning it, and if Lesnar does retain, then I could see that match happening at WrestleMania. But like we said earlier, we think it's a little too late for Strowman, and he's just not as hot anymore as he used to be.
That's WWE's fault for not striking when the iron is hot.
Exactly. I can see a McIntyre, I can see Lesnar put over McIntyre, or I can see a babyface and the underdog, a guy like Seth Rollins win the Rumble, which I think he should.
And that's who I'm going with. Either my two top guys to win this Royal Rumble match is either Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre, as they should be. Seth Rollins, and I feel like, I love Drew McIntyre, but I feel like him chasing Seth Rollins as the Universal Champion could be a little bit more intriguing. Yes, we've seen the match 1,000 times, but you know damn well that those two can definitely tear down the house, and them for the title could seriously be an intriguing main title picture, main title feud, honestly. Possibly down the line, or maybe Seth Rollins loses it to whoever, and then we get McIntyre eventually. Because McIntyre's eventually going to win the title. We all know this.
Yeah.
He's going to be built up as possibly the next top guy on Raw, or the next top heel, of course. I would have Rollins winning here. It's just not only because first of all, Seth Rollins is my favorite superstar in WWE right now. So, not only because of that, but if you look at everything that's happened to him, not only the past year, but the past few weeks, man. He lost Dean Ambrose due to injury. Then he had to bring in Jason Jordan. Then Jason Jordan, we haven't seen him since he got injured. He had to lose Jason Jordan. He won the IC title. He put on a great fucking title reign. Then he lost it to Ziggler. Then he got his best friend back in Dean Ambrose. And then he won the title back. And then they got the Shield back together. And then they won, or then Roman Reigns unfortunately said that he had leukemia and that he can't compete anymore until hopefully he beats it. And then they win the titles for Roman Reigns.
That same night, Dean Ambrose turned his back on the Shield and Seth Rollins.
Right, and then Dean Ambrose took the title Dean Ambrose took the Intercontinental title from him. Authors of Pain took the tag team titles away from him. So, he's kind of gone through an emotional roller coaster, honestly. And I feel like that's where the money is with Seth Rollins. So he goes through all this, and he fights through all this adversity, and he wins the Rumble, and he goes up and faces possibly the most dominating superstar and could be considered the underdog in that match. And Brock Lesnar for the title, and he beats him. I think that's where the money is. And Seth Rollins is incredibly believable for that type of story.
And he is. And it's been, said multiple times. That's what WWE has been planning a couple times. I think the money's right there for WrestleMania. Right.
And remember, they still have unfinished business from Night of Champions a few years back. So, I think that's where the money is. Now, I love McIntyre. I just don't think it's his time yet. I would not mind him winning the Rumble, but I just think Rollins is where the money is right now. And Rollins is is one of the hottest guys in the company right now in terms of crowd reaction.
Yeah.
So, and I think the crowd will completely pop for it, and I think Rollins completely deserves it.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I gotta go with Rollins here. I'm gonna go with Rollins here.
Yeah, same here. I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins winning the Men's Royal Rumble, challenging Brock Lesnar in the main event at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's where the money is. I think that's what they gotta do.
Absolutely.
If they don't do it, they're missing out.
Yeah. So, either way, man, this should be a pretty interesting weekend, pretty entertaining and fun, exciting weekend to watch. A fun weekend full of wrestling, man. I cannot wait. It's only Wednesday, so this work week needs to hurry up because I can't wait for the weekend full of wrestling, man. So,
yeah,
should be a fun weekend, man. Royal Rumble should be very interesting, very intriguing, and very, very,
exciting, very fun, very must see.
Yeah, pretty much, because depending on where they go with some of these matches, that could really change the tide or tell the toll for WrestleMania or for the Royal Rumble matches and everything. So
exactly.
It's going to be a very intriguing and fun weekend to watch, man, especially with TakeOver and possibly some call-ups to happen at Royal Rumble. It's going to be very fun to watch, man. I cannot wait. Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and hope you guys enjoy. If you guys are watching, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
Peace!